Board meeting to order. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. First item on the agenda is agenda approval.
This Ted will make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any public input today? All right, hearing none, on to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chair, I meant to talk with Jeff about this before the meeting. I noticed on the minutes for the May 19th meeting, there was no comment as to who approved the agenda, and I believe the same with the consent agenda. No motions and seconds.
I will have those updated and added to the next meeting.
Great, thank you. Otherwise, I'll make a motion to approve.
With the amendment,
I'll
with the
second.
changes? Yep. All right. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Employee recognition. Morning, Mike.
Good morning. For county employee recognition today in the highway department, we have Jeff Adolphson, engineering intern, began the full-time seasonal position on May 27th. Aaron Asselson, engineering specialist, is recognized for 20 years of service on May 30th. In facilities maintenance, Brian Forsberg, custodian, began the full-time position on May 28th. In human services, Christine Oschlager, child support officer, is recognized for 10 years of service on May 31st. And in solid waste, Janelle Pedersen, solid waste supervisor, is recognized for 20 years of service on May 21st. And Jack Warner, a solid waste worker, reuse, began the full-time seasonal position on May 26th.
All right, thank you, Mike. And highway's down here, right?
Andrew's going to be a little late, so if we can just skip ahead.
All right, I'll jump ahead to natural resource. Morning, Corey.
Good morning. Got a couple items for the board today. First is our yearly apportionment item. Every year the gross or the net income from our department, from the natural resource department, is to be apportioned to recreation account, forest development account, and then the general revenue for the county, and then townships and schools. So the gross income from 2025 was $2,089,160.74, and then the net income after expenditures and reserves was $1,101,968.34. 30% is to be apportioned to the forest development account. That's $330,590.50, and 20% is to be apportioned to the recreation fund. That's our parks department. That's at $220,393.67. And then the remaining $550,984.17, which is 50% of that total net income, is to be apportioned between general revenue, townships, and school districts. So I'm kind of a visual learner, so I like putting things in graphs and seeing how things run throughout a course of time. As you can see in this graph, the housing recession around 2009, 10, 11, there was a dip, and that affected the logging. There was a dip, and then it kind of spiked again, and then it dipped again during COVID, and now you can see it's going back up again after them COVID years. This year was actually a pretty good year compared to others, being over $2 million. Usually it's 1.5 to 1.7. So yeah, it's good to see that we still, 2025 was still a pretty good year.
I got a question. So it looks like between 2016, 17, was that prices? It's not that we logged off that much more?
No, so there's an aspen shortage, the mills, and they really needed aspen, and the prices of aspen spiked then, so. Thankfully, we have the mills we do because that helped out during those years, and hopefully it'll help out in the future.
You said in the last timber sale, aspen prices are down 15%.
Yeah, so now the main mills were closed for a couple months just because they were so packed full from the blowdown. Now they're opening back up in June here, so we're hoping to see prices go back up. So, that's kind of what the word on the street was, that prices were going down, and now they're gonna level back out again after this, or during the summer. Let's hope that's true anyways. But yeah, we're seeing a positive balance anyways from last year, so looking good. Yeah, so expenditures, like everything else, everything's getting expensive, so expenditures were up a little bit. Not terrible from last year, but I like to see that we're apportioning more than we're spending, so that's always a good thing. So we need 2 resolutions, one for the apportionment to the Parks Department, and one to the Forest Development Fund.
Any more questions? Otherwise,
I'll make a motion to approve both resolutions.
I'll second.
you do one or both?
Both.
Any other discussion?
I have a question for you. Is there any area parks that are looking for funding for anything that you know?
Area parks?
Yeah.
Um,
Or like, like we gave to the bathroom in Akeley. things like
yeah, so not at this point. We've got a lot of stuff in our own parks that we're
Yep.
trying to develop.
Yep.
But yeah, not at this point. And with Deep Lake Park and the finances with that, we're kind of tighter with keeping it within
Yep.
in-house. But if something comes up, we'll definitely come to the table and talk about it though. So.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, thank you. I know 25 was a good year. I'm proud of the foresters for what the blowdown was a lot of work, and I'm really proud of what they did. So you have some good employees here. So yeah,
I agree.
yeah. Thanks for thanks for letting me supervise them. Let's see what's next. Next item, it's phase 2 for Deep Lake Park. The grant application for that is due here July 31st. So we're just trying to get on the ball here and try to get things done a little bit early, so we're not rushing in the end. The grant resolution is attached from Greater Minnesota Regional Parks and Trails Commission, and that is needed to be able to apply for phase 2 grant funding. Jeff and I, we went to the Parks Board March 30th, I believe it was, and we talked about what we really want to see in phase 2. Some of the items were the lower campground, the visitor center, the shower house or bath house, sewer, water and dump station, trail construction, and road work and parking. So the road work would be near the visitor center and in the campgrounds. And with that, the SRF estimated the grant ask would be 1.25 million, and then it would be 1.5 million if we decided to remove the old maintenance shed and build another maintenance shed. Pretty basic to store equipment. We've discussed that maintenance shed. It's gonna need a lot of work, and it might be something where we actually save money by building something smaller and more basic, I guess, that we can just store stuff in. It doesn't need to be anything fancy, cold storage, but yeah, I don't know. Jeff, what do you think that?
Well, the estimate to repair that building is more than the cost to build
Yeah.
new. The cost to demo it would be probably within the match dollars that we have. If we apply for $1.5 million of funding, the match is gonna be about $250,000 on the county to do that. And hopefully the demo of that and some of the planning and the work that we're doing in between would mean that the grant would cover the actual improvements for all the other stuff as we're going along. But we really started looking at saving it because it's in good condition, but the roof isn't. And I think the estimate I got from ICS is upwards of $300,000 to redo the roof and get it ready for heat and electrical, because we want electrical in there. So the estimate for, and I apologize, I can't pull it up. This thing isn't working. I'm barely able to make one monitor work right now. So I can't pull up all the stuff I normally do. But the estimate for that new building is $250,000, and that would be clean, done, ready.
Are we looking at like a steel pole building or something like that, or?
Actually, when we talked about both the visitor center and the new building, we're talking about post frame slab on grade construction for both with in-floor heat, so they'd be very efficient, and, you know, the most economical type of construction we can come up with, so.
Okay, thank you.
Where would the money come from for the grant match if we included that? So we would need 250,000.
That would come out of capital, that we would have to designate the year that we were planning on doing that. So out of that capital set aside that we have.
So between the original phases, what changed? The upper campground moved out of phase 2 and to phase 3?
The only thing that's really not major construction is the upper campground, although the parking area and the dump station are in phase 2. And then the actual trail building is not in phase 2, but the trail planning and plans development is in phase 2.
Mhm.
So it would be the lower campground, the camper cabins, visitor center. He's got a line item for the possibility of paving the parking area and potentially the road as an option, as an alternate. So it would, from the highway down to the visitor center, it would be a functional park at the completion of phase 2, with 21 to 26 campsites on the lower proposed.
I think there's 16 right now at the lower campground. Yep. Isn't that 26 at the upper campground?
I think it's 21 below and 26 above.
Yeah, okay.
So when would you anticipate, if we got the grant, the completion of this work?
So the grant letter, if approved, would come in December, I believe, so it'd be the next July, so it'd be 2027. Yep.
We're applying for 27 funds. It's a 3-year grant period. So it'd be 27 and following. I would guess that if we can prioritize the matching dollars in the first year of the receipt of the grant, then we would probably try to do the construction in the first year and a half of that 3-year project.
And my other question is, so the Parks Board discussed and approved the improvements to 1.25 million. Why didn't they include the garage?
the maintenance shed, or,
Yeah.
yeah. So we talked to it's kind of, we did talk to him about that, and just that it cost so much money to build or repair that old one, and then just keeping it closer to the visitor center too. And the parking lot does get a little bit in the way of getting to the one that's there now, but I'm kind of okay with doing either way. If you guys have any input, we can definitely rebuild the roof or the sides. I even thought about, we could even cut it in half, demo half the building, because we don't need that huge. The back area is just rooms, and
The application, the application is for 1.5 million, based on the estimate.
Oh, it is?
The grant
Okay.
would be for 1.25.
Okay, yeah,
And-
okay.
And the 0.25 would be the match. So this, he's showing the net number.
Okay, I just
Instead of the
misunderstood. Okay.
gross application. The gross application does include that in there.
And then the next Parks Board meeting, I would like to discuss that maintenance shed a little bit more, because we did get a variance to use it. So that's there. It's usable, but it's just gonna need some work in the future.
And is the campground gonna be open all year?
Yes, yep.
So is that why the floor heat? Because if we didn't put in floor heat, you'd save a considerable amount of money, so
It-
why are you heating the building?
The maintenance shed, just with the ski grooming equipment, and yeah, we would like floor heat in there, or some kind of heat, just to thaw out equipment. And,
One of the
Yeah,
One of the possibilities, permutations, is that the new maintenance building and the bathhouse for the lower campground are the same building. That the bathhouse would be in a corner of that maintenance building to become even more efficient. If we can find a location where that works. And then you would want, ideally, we'd have water in the maintenance facility, and ideally, we have heat in the bath facility, right? So if they're the same building and you have one heat system with multiple zones, then that would be the most efficient way to do that. That's the current kind of idea. The next things that Corey's working on is gonna be working with the septic designer to identify where those places could be, work with the Minnesota Department of Health to identify where bathhouse and water have to be within so many feet of every camp space. So we actually have to do that amount of survey work to make sure that those things all meet the conditions, and that we can get by how many septic systems do we need, right? In my mind, we probably need a single one for the visitor center, another one for the bathhouse, and then another one for up above for that campground. I'm hoping they can design a single system that serves those, the upper campground and the dump station, but I'm not sure if they can. So Corey's been talking to a couple of designers.
Yeah, I have a designer that I've been working with the terrain. He's gonna need two up on the top for the RV and the dump station. And then with the lake setbacks, there's limitations what we can have in the lower area. But he is gonna meet with me out there this week again. I met with him a couple weeks ago. Seems like a good guy out in Nevis that's done quite a bit of design. So we talked to a few others. They weren't interested just because if they did the design, they'd want to do the install too. And with the bidding process, that would get a little, I guess not correct, but yeah, we'll do it the right way and go from there.
So you need to have all of your septic plans and designs in place prior to your
Yes,
CPU?
yes, so that's why I'm trying to get someone that'll hurry up and get out there and meet with me and get this done before we can get that CUP, or apply for the CUP. Mm-hmm.
So now I can show you the list that Stuart sent to Corey, which itemizes, breaks down the elements of the visitor center, the lower campground elements. So the new maintenance building, he's got at 250, and then the bathhouse, he's got in, the shower house, he's got it in as 150. And I'm suggesting there's a possibility of combining those two. Dump station, ATV parking lot, trail development, and then the element for this. This is very first draft, bunch of numbers, but the visitor center, the lower campground, camper cabins, RV dump station, ATV parking are all the elements that were reviewed with the Parks Board. And if this number actually goes to, the basic element relative to the resolution is that the board understands that there's up to a 25% match.
Yep. And that 250,000 for that maintenance shed, that's either gonna go towards the old maintenance shed or it's gonna go towards the new. It's one way or the other.
If the number is 1.8, then the county match would be 25% of that. If it's 1.5, it's 25% of that. So this is the scope. It's not the final budget. We have end of this month or end of July for the?
End of July.
End of July. So we've
Yep.
got
Yep.
6 weeks to refine those numbers, but I would say that's within 10-15% of what we're gonna ask for.
Besides just cost, septic could help clarify whether you use that old building.
Yeah, and I'd even almost like to meet with the Parks Board out there maybe one night and just look at the roof, cause you can see light coming through. There's been water damage for many years, and I mean,
Is there a concrete floor in there now?
there is.
What kind of shape is it in?
The floor is in good shape. The block walls are in good shape.
We'd have to figure out a different type. It'd probably just be forced air heating, which is fine. Yeah.
It's, the primary challenge is that where the road is ends up conflicting with where the picnic shelter and the parking lot is gonna be. It's just not that convenient of a place for it. But we'll, one way or another, bring up the recommendation.
And really, we only might have 2 mowers, a Ranger with a ski grooming equipment behind it, and maybe a pickup if we have that. So we don't need too huge of a building, and it's a big building, even if we cut it in half and use half of it.
And the cost of new isn't gonna be that much different.
No,
So it's
no,
just which one works out best.
yep. Mhm.
So we need a resolution motion, pass the resolution.
I'll make the motion.
This Ted will second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And road construction's going well. They're about done with the main road, starting on the parking lot, so things are looking good.
When do you think people will be able to have access in there?
Oh, so we have to hold off on the picnic shelter and the concrete. So they're gonna be done probably next week, I'd say in a couple weeks. For sure by July. Yeah, so, yeah, it's looking really good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll jump back to highway quick.
Morning.
Morning.
Right. So the first item I have is to final out a project that we had last year, the roundabout that we constructed on 7 and 40. So Glade Construction completed it. We would like to give their final payment and approval of their work. The final payment is $71,391.11. And then I'll give this to Jeff for all the signatures after.
I'll move to approve.
All right.
Is Ted, I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Perfect. Just want to make sure I follow what you guys have in your packet too.
It's like
Jackfish, okay. So we had 2 bids this morning open right away. This first one is for Jackfish Drive in Clay Township. It was State Park Road account funded project that they were accepted when they applied for it. So we had, which one is that? Oh, this one. We had 5 bidders on it this morning. The low bid came with Central Specialties out of Alexandria for $111,220.60. And the plan is to do it right away in June. It'll be a quick mill and overlay on the road up there.
How long of a stretch of road is it?
It's like 0.41 miles, so less than half a mile. Yep.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Right. 38, okay, so the other one we had this morning was for the CASA 38 bridge replacement, kind of southeast of LaPorte. This one will be a timber bridge constructed later this fall and into November about. We have a completion date. 3 bidders on this project. The low bid is S&R Reinforcing out of Aiken, Minnesota, and they came in at $1,139,481.89.
Have you worked with them before?
I have not. They've been bidders on a couple of our projects, but they're usually a little higher. But yeah, we're hopeful that they're a good bidder, and all 3 of the ones that we had bid are good contractors. We've worked with the other 2, so I look forward to working with them.
Great. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, and then the last one is our CASA 30 regrading project. On CASA 30, the whole length, it's 3 miles total, southeast of LaPorte again. This one we had 5 bidders, and the low bidder came from Glade Construction, who's out of LaPorte. Came in at $1,206,418.45. And that one's slated for, again, a late summer construction schedule completion. I think it's mid-October again with that one as well.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Yeah, so those are our last 3 projects to bid. So we're going. I do have these. I emailed you all yesterday with the 5-year if you just wanted to pass. There's a copy for each of you with those.
Thank you.
5 years if you want to review, and if you have questions or anything, let me know. And then we'll have those 2 meetings in June. Otherwise, Adam has a construction update he can give.
Yeah, so right now we've got 8 projects awarded. We've completed our maintenance pavement marking already. Sir Lancelot completed that early May. The annual calcium chloride application that got underway last week. We're expected a completion date of early July for that. And same with our annual aggregate surfacing project. That's underway and expected completion date end of June. Our CASA 40, 50, and 86, the reclaim and paving job, that started yesterday. And we're expecting an early July completion date for that project. County Road 116 is a mill and overlay. We started that today. That's kind of a quick one, expected end of next week to have that one done. The Straight River Township Bridge replacement on 149th Avenue, that's starting June 15th, and we're expecting that one to go through about middle of September. The CASA 30 grading and overlay that we just approved, we're expecting that one August through middle of October there. And we do still have a HSIP safety striping job that Sir Lancelot will be doing as well by the end of September. And then these other two that we awarded this morning, the 38 bridge replacement project, that's kind of an August through mid-October timeframe. And then that Jackfish Drive will be a mill and overlay, kind of be done hopefully end of June here. So yeah, plenty going on. We got a good start here this summer, so the weather's cooperating so far. So
Is 40 a mill and then reclaim?
yes, correct. They started with the mill
Yep.
yesterday, and then the reclaimers will follow. Got a couple subcuts that they got to do, and then paving operations will start shortly after
I
that.
saw a reclaimer
Yeah.
today when I went by. So
Yep.
I know they were milling it yesterday, and now
Yep.
they were reclaiming at the intersection of
Sure,
two right
yep.
there. So, okay, and then I do have a question on the 5-year plan, real quick, on 23. Then I see you have 87 on that as well. Is that to the end of the existing pavement on 87?
My plan is just mill and overlay on our portion of 87. I'll bring it up to Derek over in Cass and
Yep.
see if he wanted to tag on his portion of the rest of the road there.
Okay.
If he wanted to do anything, I'll notify him of our plan,
Yeah,
and he can
yeah.
kind of
It's
see.
been talked about before with them. It would be nice to get, if they could coordinate getting that north stretch of that straightened out.
Yeah, it's kind of
Pretty sneaky.
with doing 23 now, it's not, like, I would use it almost as a cut across road for a detour, say, but with doing all of 23 now, it's not, doesn't have the same priority, I guess,
Yeah,
in terms
yep.
of what I would use the road for.
Sure.
So, yeah, but I'll let Cass know, and if they want to tag on, then they can to the.
Yeah, I was just curious if there was any interest in paving up to the county line, because it's a little, but maybe not quite a half mile to where the county line is past the end at the trail. So
Yeah, I can take a look and see kind of what it looks like, and
it's a little narrow. but-
maybe, yeah, it's hard to say. It's,
Okay, all right, just curious. That's it from me.
I was wondering about the 5-year plan too. I was looking at 11 and 17. I drive 11 quite a bit. And 11 seems to be worse shape than 17.
Yeah, I think what I was thinking with those is the type of project. 17, I was looking at just doing a quick mill and overlay. It doesn't have as much traffic as 11, kind of, again, used as more of a cut across road, so it'd be a lot quicker of a project to tie to. My idea was to tie that with the work on 33 and then on the county road on the east county line, to kind of bid them all similar together, and then do 11 and 20 together with a joint project where a contractor could come in and do, zip down 11, go back up 20, come down 11, do it kind of in a circle loop project. So kind of strategizing that way in terms of where I can see maybe getting the best bid or the best bang for your buck, I guess, when we look at these two.
11's not to 2031.
Yeah, and again, it's kind of a guideline, I guess I'd call it, is what I would say. But I incorporated a lot, we have pavements that are 25, 26 plus years old right now, so I'm trying to get those off of the cycle first and then come behind and do some of these roads that are, the ride is really bad on them, or a lot of cracks are showing up or whatnot. Yeah.
I do think trying to group projects, even though pavement might not be quite ready to be improved, it makes sense to group these things. That way it's a little easier to keep track.
Yeah,
And get
and then
everything
our
up to date,
inspectors
same
can
age.
be kind of
Yep.
all clustered together. The staffing level impacts it too, you know, next year, looking at doing all of 23 projects as a one big bid, I'm hoping, if we can get them all designed and ready to go. And then, you know, we did it this year with the 40, 50, and 86. We combined those 3 projects jointly, so then we can have, you know, 1 inspector on the whole project versus potentially having 3 contractors too.
Yeah.
You don't know, so you're dealing with 1 contractor, you can have 1 inspector, saves us staffing and time expense on our end for the staffing of
And I
it.
think it saves time in mobilization and
Right.
then also
Yeah.
materials.
Yep, so their
Definitely.
costs come in low
Yep.
too, because you're not having to pay the 2 mobs or the 2 contract fees to get them going and whatnot.
So I'm not familiar with the roads, 11, 17, et cetera, but from what Tom said, could you flip those if 11 was in much worse shape?
Potentially, yeah. It would just be a standalone project then versus grouping it with 20. 20 is pretty rough too.
Well, I was thinking
oh.
of taking all that you have bundled
And
and just flip the
flipping.
years.
We could look at it, yeah, potentially. I know like with joining it with 33 on that east end, it needs subgrade work in terms
Okay.
of digging down and fixing it. But 17 is kind of in the middle of those 2 where we could look at moving 17 out and potentially adding in, you know, 11 sooner. Or if our turn for the federal pot gets around quicker, you know, that might be a good application for that federal money is to do it on 11. We used that on 13 when we did 13 last year. So, yeah, I call it a guideline. You know, it's really tough when you don't know where your money's coming from or if you'll have the same money that you have today. We don't know that either. Could change. So, just very much a guideline in terms of the ride and the quality of the roads right now and trying to maintain what we have. Yeah.
I appreciate a handheld copy. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a lot easier to see than the online one, so, yeah. All right, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks. Human Services. Morning.
Morning. I got 2 items this morning. Sorry for the one on the late entry. It looks like everyone got a handout on it. First one this morning is just wrapping up. We did get we made known before we were approved through MnDOT for funding for our software update. So that they had sent us their final agreement showing what our portion, our 20% cost share there. So bringing that back in front of the board to get final approval for Jason to use his reserves to finalize that project so we can get our software updated through our dispatching program.
Can't recall, did we, is the software we use, are we still using like the iPads and stuff?
Correct, yeah.
Kind of a hodgepodge?
It's very archaic, to be honest, yeah. Basically, just a quick rundown, if a rider calls in for a bus appointment, the dispatcher handwrites details down, when, where, and who, and inputs that into a spreadsheet, basically. Copies and pastes that from the spreadsheet onto just the tablet, the Microsoft tablet that goes to the bus. Like I said, it doesn't have, there's no ridership statistics or mapping available on it. Auditing is pretty much impossible at this point with it. Trying to reconcile fares and stuff like that, so. Yeah, the new software would also have some routing packages that would help reduce fuel costs, I think, by quite a bit. Instead of just kind of zigzagging all over town, and we can kind of get some hard input into the system, so we can just here to there, and it'll automatically route it for us.
So is this a pretty common software package for
Yeah.
what we're doing?
Exactly, yep. It's used quite a bit through other agencies in the state.
Is it a private software company or is it Dave?
Yeah, it would be through a private company, yes. I don't have an actual, we haven't gotten far enough in the process to actually pinpoint a distributor, but we've got several in mind that we'll be talking to and kind of going over some things to see which one would be best for us.
And how's our ridership doing?
It's doing very well, actually,
Is it
yeah.
Stable or rising? Or?
It's rising. It was probably, I want to say it was about 11% in 2025 over 2024. And we're seeing it kind of hanging, so far through 26, it's about the same amount. We're doing roughly about 4,200 rides a month.
At Action Park Rapids this last month, they talked about probably the greatest need is transportation for services for the different organizations that service.
Yeah, I think that needs is just going to continue in the next few
Yeah.
years too, just with the population aging.
So will this help with efficiency then too of
I think it will help greatly with
planning
efficiency.
your pickups and
Yes.
scheduling? And,
Yep. A lot of these places or companies now too, the software packages, you can have like online updates for riders. They can see where the bus is, how far out it's gonna be. It'll help with scheduling. It'll just help with everything basically across the board. It'll be a lot more efficient.
Because I do believe ridership would increase more if we could increase, you know, our capacity to be able to do more.
Sure.
Without costing a lot of money. The demand is there, it's just whether we can justify it.
Correct, I agree.
There's definitely a population who chooses not to use it due to the frustrations that sometimes they have had historically, and if you can eliminate those, it should open them back up to
Yeah, it doesn't
wanting to
always
take
meet
those
their
rides.
timelines or whatever, yeah. Yep. All right, we need a motion to,
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. Oh, go ahead, Tom.
I'll second.
any other questions? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
All right, second item, probably the least familiar one. So this came to me in October and it was just mistakenly missed in an email. Rural Minnesota SEP reached out yesterday and said, hey, where'd that contract come from? So they've been providing the service all year. Our Minnesota Family Investment Program, we've utilized rural Minnesota SEP for quite a few years to utilize or to be our partner on carrying out this service. So there has been no delay in service delivery, but as far as the official signed contract between Hubbard County and rural Minnesota SEP hasn't been signed. It's fully federal and state funded programming. Indicated Commissioner Christensen thought maybe there was a decrease in overall award. That's possible. I'm not familiar what the previous award amount was, but
I pulled it up now. I can't find the 25, but the 24 award on this page was a total of 210,415. So looks like it's just level. I can't see the 25 one in the system, but I can see the 24.
and I believe the total award on this one was, I thought it was 259.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too.
Yep. And their projected expenditure there was just on the last page. I think it was at,
In the total award in 24 was 253. So again,
Okay.
the work plan for the MFIP and the two programs of that and the total award are very consistent with 24.
Do you get stats from them monthly as far as any telling you the services they performed and if people ended up working?
I'm not familiar how often Amanda gets the updates. I believe they just have the annual goal as to trying to achieve their 2.5% above what the year was before. I don't have hard data on those, but I can certainly grab that for you.
motion to approve.
Yeah, I'll move to approve.
I'll second. Okay.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Just want to clarify with Tom for a second on Commissioner Kruger on the second.
Sharp. Motion. Tom.
Okay,
First and second.
okay. That's how I interpreted it too, but.
That's who I heard. I heard Tom. Thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. All right, Jeff.
Yes. Honestly, I really have I would answer questions that you would have, and I would highlight the fact I believe that you all got the invitation to the upcoming Hubbard County COLA meeting on June 25th. You all received that? Okay. That would be what I would have to add, other than what's on the meetings to note.
Are we gonna get details on the management celebration for Mantrap, about where to meet, et cetera?
Yes, I will forward the invitation. I have a copy of that invitation.
I'd like to go to that.
It looks like it would be a nice thing to have, and they have a flyer that goes along with that with all the details, so I will forward that.
Thank you.
Are we having a public safety and transportation meeting on Friday?
We're having a meeting on Friday.
Perfect, thank you.
Next week's work session agenda, remember, is going to include some time with the department managers and lunch, so it'll be a little longer time. We're going to have a tour, so it's going to be a little bit longer period. I would say we'd probably be here till, I don't know, 12:30, 1 o'clock, and just roll all that together.
Thank you.
All right. What else we have? Committee reports. Steve, you want to start?
Just give me a minute to look and see what I haven't reported on yet. I guess we had Northwest Juvenile. Everything went, we had the review of the supervisor there, superintendent, I should say. She's doing a very good job. Even through tough times, she's really doing a fantastic job juggling numbers to make things work. The budget looks good, as comparatively as it could be, I guess, but I think she's very professional in everything she does, which is greatly appreciated. There's been a lot of controversies that come up, and she deals with everything's documented, it's legal and it's proper, and I think that's very important in today's sue happy society. So I've been very impressed with her work.
And to add to what Steve was saying there too, besides her regular duties, then we had that storm last year and the amount of damage that was done at the center. So Mindy also took on all those responsibilities too, so I'm glad we have her as a superintendent.
Then we had an opioid committee meeting, basically trying to fine tune the memorandum for approving grants and whatnot, trying to narrow that down to be a little more accurate. We've got kind of a scoring matrix roughly developed and it's being refined. So hopefully that can be brought forward sometime soon to finalize that. And I did not go to the Highway 34 corridor meeting. I don't know if anybody else did or not. I went to the retirement last Friday at the highway department, and Andrea wasn't there, and Adam didn't know if she went or not. But I don't know what came of that. I haven't looked on the MnDOT website to see what's there yet, so they're usually pretty slow at updating anything as far as for public to look at, so that's all I had.
I had an ACO call last week. So they had a company on called OKLV. I don't remember how they pronounced it. Anyway, it's a small, it's a company that puts up small nuclear plants. The average time for a nuclear plant build is 10 years. And the small nuclear reactors that they're building takes up 5 acres and a year and a half to build. And the life is 40 years and beyond. For expectancy, they've had no injuries or accidents. A nuclear reactor has never had injuries or accidents here. Thought that was interesting, over 78 years. And currently they are approved regulatory, and they're doing 3 jobs. One of them is the Air Force plant in Alaska that they're building. So talked about how nuclear provides more jobs than any other energy sector. I did not know that. And the starting wage for, and this is beyond construction, this is just working at the plant. The starting wage is about $50 an hour. So it's been really interesting to be on this committee because so many people, it's from counties all over the nation, and so many of them were into green energy. And they're realizing that green energy cannot carry the load. And so they've made the shift to 180 degrees to seeing that nuclear would be a viable answer. So I really enjoyed the committee, and I'm learning a lot.
Figuring that out in Europe too.
Yeah, they are.
After closing a whole bunch of nuclear plants, now they're figuring, oh, that was a mistake.
Dave, I think you're gonna report on Heritage and HLDC. HIP had participated in Wellness in the Park last Wednesday. There were several vendors there, including insurance companies and then services for mental health. Let's see, Yes was there, as was HIP. Oh, Prime West was there. Several different. Traffic was a little slow, but it was 90. So it was toasty warm there. I sat at the HIP table for a while and gave out information. And then the Mojave meeting we had on Friday, Otto Brimmer has given a $75,000 grant once the tiny homes are up and running for the operation of them. So that's all I have.
So HLDC, continue to work on small city grants for different businesses throughout the community. And then, if you haven't noticed, the housing development, Heartland Heights, they're well into their work now, so they're moving a lot of dirt, so that's positive. And as far as Heritage, May was about the same again. CMS overall star was 4, health inspection was 4, quality measure was 3, staffing was 4. We had 5 new hires, 3 terminations. Still have 2 open FTEs. And let's see, number of employees is up to 107 from 104. Heritage Manor at the end of May was at 23 residents out of 26. As of our meeting, it was full. Everything's rented at the Manor. The cottages were at 16 at the end of May, and they're about to be full also. And then Heritage Living Center is at 38.53 out of 42, I think is our number, isn't it? 44.
No, 46, because we laid away 8 beds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know there's just a lot of changeover going on, but I think that's up to, I can tell you here what it's exactly up to. It was up to 40 as of our meeting again. Cash flow, Heritage Manor, cash flow to positive 28,647. The cottages, a positive 27,608. Heritage Living Center was a negative 35,537. The total combined then was a positive 20,718. So everything's kind of just tracking about the same still. And
If I could add 2 things. One is that nursing homes across the state none of them are full. So they're not quite sure why, but that is the trend. And then we still haven't received the money for the
rate increases.
grade increase.
Yep, so at some point in time here in the next 3 months, there'll probably be a large sum of money coming in revenue from catch up from what should have been.
Effective to January 1st.
Yep. So all of a sudden, 1 month, it'll look really, really great. But we've been continuing to watch it and kept our budget as if it was happening all along. So we're actually showing that we're kind of underperforming the budget, but it probably should catch up. So that's all I have.
I've had a number of meetings in May. I had 4 with Kitchigami Regional Library. One of them was Budget Committee, but I already told you about that the last time. One was a regular board meeting, and then we had 2 personnel committee meetings. At the board meeting and those personnel committee meetings, primarily dealt with the board voted to terminate the executive director and 1 other employee. And they delegated the personnel committee to negotiate the termination terms with the executive director.
Was that effective immediately?
It was effective the 28th of May.
Okay.
So we did present an offer to the executive director for terms. Let's see, and then the board also approved hiring David Down Associates to begin a search for a new director. Hopefully we can have interviews in July, because I'll be available the whole month of July for those, because I'm on that committee. What else happened? Well, that was the biggest thing right there. And I had a Parks Board meeting. Got several things highlighted. The dog park, that's got a lot of people interested in that. Can't wait for it to be ready. They're still cleaning up, gonna be putting up the fences, contracting for that. Next Parks Board meeting, they're gonna be setting the rules for the dog park. And then going along with that ribbon cutting for the man trap area, which is the 25th, that's in the morning, they're gonna try to schedule the trail dedication at 10 o'clock. See, because they're all up in that same general area. See if they can get it the same day. For pickleball, they're gonna had conversation on, there's a lot of interest in adding more courts. They're going to investigate the possibility of adding 4 courts at the Hartman Park, in the same general area as the current ones. So right now it's just investigate, how to do it, what the cost would be and all that. Well, then we had the SWCD. I think the main thing that came out of that is they tabled the getting that request for bids for the Belle Taine until they talk with the Belle Taine people with that. So that's been tabled for now. Then we'll send out the bids for it. You probably up to
So
date
you
on that.
meet next month again then?
Yeah, next month is when they should, because it should be, the next SWCD meeting is when they should approve sending out the bids.
Yeah.
Is that to dredge it?
Mhm.
What's the word?
To deal with the high water.
Oh, to deal with the high
situation.
water.
They don't have
Yeah,
high water
and now they
right
have
now,
low water. Yeah, okay.
but it'll come back again at some time. And that's all I got.
So, thinking about possible new pickleball courts, Walker did some new pickleball courts. I would encourage park members to look at how they did the fencing and the walk-through areas. So it would be a little different design than current. It would be more effective, or efficient rather, as people entered and left the courts.
Okay, one other thing, for my own personal schedule, I haven't had a vacation since August. We're taking a vacation starting Thursday. Gone for 2 weeks, so I will miss the work session. I'll miss the Board of Equalization, and then the last board meeting of the month. And then there's for committees. I know in the future you may be on the library one. If you want to, there's a local library. Actually it's Thursday.
Oh, I'm up Prime West this Thursday.
Okay.
Is it always the first Thursday of the month?
Well, it's every other month, the first Thursday.
Oh, that's never gonna work in my schedule.
Yeah. Now
Okay.
the regional board meeting is always in the evening
Okay,
on a Thursday.
okay.
Yeah, and that's the third Thursday of the month.
Yeah, I can do that one, okay.
Right, and so, and I'm not gonna go tomorrow to Bemidji because I need to do more to get ready for the trip on Thursday. That's it.
Yeah, let's see, I just had a couple here, Freshwater Festival, it's, what this, SWCD puts on, it was a good turnout, 261 students. I don't know how the teachers do it. I was with Josh Cook's class from Park Rapids here. We started off, it was a session on unique waters. Basically, it was a science center from Bemidji comes down. They tell you about the unique qualities of water and stuff like that. And we also had a thing on loons, tree planting, cone collection, and then animals. And there again, it's, I believe it's still the Science Center from Bemidji that comes down with different kind of snakes and animals and stuff like that. And the kids, it seemed like the kids really enjoyed it. It was a beautiful day. It was just great to be outdoors. Let's see, and one thing then, Northwest Minnesota Juvenile Center, just to touch on, add to what Steve had said, our auditor, and I'm trying to remember the name of our auditing company.
Yeah,
It's a couple, three names, you know.
I don't have my paperwork, so.
They mentioned that out of the 60 audits that they do or did last year, only one did not have the segregation of duties check mark or whatever thing against them. So I thought with all the audits and that we go through, and that always seems to be a thing, you just can't hire enough people to have those segregation of duties. So that was interesting. And then I had the Mississippi Headwaters Board. Let's see. That was, that one I joined by Zoom. We're talking about, there's been a little bit of a push. They're talking about making it a Zoom type meeting because we come from 8 different counties. I don't, I think Friday, or that meeting on that Friday was a good example why I don't like Zoom meetings, technical problems and stuff like that. We're sitting there, the 3 of us that were online, trying to talk to those that were there, and they didn't even hear us, and then they could hear us, but we couldn't hear them, and like I say, it was terrible. But they talked about the Morrison County and Beltrami County cleanup on the Mississippi River. Like I say, we've got a short stretch that comes through Hubbard County, and it's all private, or it's all public land on both sides, and it's not really conducive to walking the river and cleaning it up in those areas, so we don't really do much there. A lot of bookkeeping type stuff. We have a lease with Clearwater, or Crow Wing County. That's where our executive director works out of. Basically, they give it to us for free, but we had to sign the lease. The only other action item was CD rates. We've got a little bit of money in reserve, and we thought about it, instead of it just sitting there, to collect a little bit of interest on it. And we haven't still, well, we did make a decision, but we haven't actually transferred the money yet. And let's see. Yeah, that's the high spots. And that's all I had.
All right, anything else? Otherwise, tomorrow up in Bemidji, AMC, so, yep.
Just a quick FYI, I heard Akeley mention, I know in the last couple of weeks, we usually don't talk about bathrooms and beautification, but our Akeley bathrooms, I consider beautiful. They had just done a walkthrough a couple of weeks ago, and I think we're open to the public. Again, thank the board for having part of that project.
All right,
Just for information, the Board of Adjustment this month has 19 variances. and then
After
one,
the facts.
One planning commission thing.
and one planning commission. So it's the most ever, so they've already booked 2 nights.
Well, what's the
Oh,
planning
wow.
commission thing? Because that might come here then.
The planning commission is a minor subdivision by Lauren Anderson, to subdivide 40 acres in Henrietta Township.
Okay.
Looks like a simple one.
Yeah, 19 variances is a lot.
Yeah. That means they can't get that done in one
No,
night.
they've already booked for
Oh,
2
okay.
nights. They've already told the board.
Are any of those after the fact?
No, well, I don't know, I haven't looked that
Okay.
much. Larry just told me, I just saw him and he goes, do you know how many variances we have?
Now he's probably saying, hurry up and find somebody.
So there's 2 under old business and the rest are
So
new.
you're grateful the planning commission is first. All right, if nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries, we're adjourned.